Dumelang sanibonani ralocha Thapelo. Greetings. For those who are seeing me here for the first time, my name is Organic Hottie. I am from the other channel. Those who've seen my face before, I'm from the other channel. We have migrated. I did 2 episodes explaining the migration and also calling out some nonsense behavior that somebody did on the other one. So please just go watch those 2 minutes of those videos. And then we're gonna get into today's case. But before we get into today's case, personally from myself, this is me with my decolonized tongue. So if the English runs away a little bit, please do understand that we are progressing and working on going back into learning our mother tongues. So I will do a lot of tautologies and using the wrong word here and there, but do bear with me. But before we get into today's case, personally from myself, yes, let us remember, guys, that these are real humans. Sorry for guys if you do not resonate with that. But these are real humans, or queens, or kings, or whatever it is, whatever title and order of importance that you want to give them. But these are real humans with real families, real friends, real co-workers, real children. These are real. This is not AI generated. This is not something that we kicking about. These are real humans and real traumatic and tragic things that happen. So let us remember that should a family member or a friend bump into comments and you decided to be an a-hole and make a nasty comment or something that's below the belt, please, let's just be cognizant of that. Let us be kind here. Let us be respectful. Let us afford each other that whatever you'd like to be done to you, do the same thing, pay the same respect, because you never know what life can hold tomorrow, so let us respect their families in case somebody does bump into the comments or decide, I want to revisit this. And yes, for this case, the trigger warnings for this case, so there's going to be a mentioning of removal of genitalia, there's going to be unaliving by a method of beheading, there's going to be, so this is a hate crime case. So if this is something triggering for you, please maybe just wait until we have the lighter episodes, but please do click out. Or but I know if you're a true crime junkie, I think we have, not that we're immune, but we have some sort of so we can handle a little bit, but at times it does tend to be too much. As you'd see in some episodes, my voice does get a little bit shaky, I tear up a little bit here and there. But if this is too heavy for you, please go click out. You can go check out my other lighter channel where we speak the African calendar, but we also address social issues on that one. So please go check out Seoding if you want like some of the light stuff, or go check out my TikTok. I put it in the description box somewhere. And yes, let us get into today's case. Let us remember, be kind, even if your religious beliefs or your lifestyle beliefs or your opinions do not agree or align to how somebody else that is not affecting you lives their lives. Please just be kind, keep it to yourself. If you wanna educate us, please do in the kindest manner, but don't be an a-hole. All right, so today's case takes us all the way to one of the provinces in South Africa, the Northern Cape province, and what some people believe this is where some of the descendants of our ancestors live. So you would see, so I've been to Kuruman in the Northern Cape, and you would see like the features like the Tswana people, leather colored people, where like they have like you could see their eyes are very you can see what, okay, these are descendants of the queer people. Queer is what we have for so many years called the San people. There's also another term that is used, the correct term, the San or the Bushmen or whatever it is, whatever terms that actually they do not go by. But the ancients, actually the custodians, the oldest people that were in South Africa. So these are some school of thoughts. But with me, I would notice, oh no, Batswana bana, Batswana le, or the colored people. So we're going to Kuruman, a town called Kuruman. It's a mining town, and where we are exactly going is a small village in Kuruman, which is about 70 km from Kuruman. It's called Seoding. Probably my township tongue is pronouncing it incorrectly. Because I know also the dialect of Setswana there is a bit different. You know, they would say things like wabubola for kyakula or kyalwala that we use here this side, you know, but I think that's one us to understand each other. So yeah, so this town is predominantly black, and Tswana, a lot of people speak Tswana, a lot of people speak Afrikaans there, a lot of people, so you see also people from Kimberley, they would be Tswana people but Babwa Afrikaans, you know. So yeah, it's one of those villages or towns, and yeah, it is quite poverty stricken, and the most ambition that people would have is to go work in the mining industry, you know. Like I said, Horeke, a mining town. So I'm not too sure, is this where Kumba ore comes from? But yeah, they mine ore there. They also mine, I think, magnesium there. But yeah, you know, yeah, if you've migrated with me from my other space, you know how everything is very unequal in this country, in Ayaruna, you know, where, yeah, I don't know in 2012 what the pay grade was, but it's definitely not on par or not on the same level. And it is still that whole thing of us filling in our race when we're doing job applications or loan applications, that is still applicable even to this today, you know, where pay grade is very different. And as much as we shy from it and living in this whole delusion of remuneration and whatnot, it is not that, unfortunately, you know. So, but for those who are able to work in the mines, it was a betterness, I guess, you know, from just sitting and doing nothing. Even though, like, how can HR and probably look, you would see the disparities, you know, from the black people, the colored people, the Caucasian people, where the pay grade is different. But yes, I did not even say who we're speaking about today. So, go Seoding, we are speaking about our fallen queen, Thapelo QueenBling Makhutle. Thapelo identified as a transgender as well as a gay person. So we will be using the pronouns she and they interchangeably because that is what they had identified with. So Thapelo was born on the 23rd of February in 1988 to a mother. Not much is mentioned regarding their other parent, but the other parent in this case was the grandmother, because these are the people that are mentioned when the reports of how Thapelo was found get delivered. And there's also a sibling that's mentioned, a brother, Lebogang Makhutle, who was also, you know what, not okay and probably not okay. And this hate crime took place on the 9th of June in 2012. So it is 11 years later and we're still having the same conversation. It's 11 years later. We are still being punished for how we choose to represent ourselves or live our lives, or, you know what, mind our own business and just do us. It is, yeah, how many years since the 13th of October 1990, which was the first Pride March in Africa. So that is why Rona in South Africa, we dual Pride. So we Pride ka June for those historical reasons, and then we Pride also ka October. That is why the coming weekend let blind. So it's years since that first Pride March. It's present day life with the hate crime bill, and we're not just advocating for this hate crime bill to be in effect just for the queer community, but it encompasses things like race, it encompasses things like discrimination on any basis, basically, you know. But as much as this bill has been put in the Constitution, but it has not eradicated anything, it has not, you know, I just feel the vibration of hate has just rather increased, you know. And because I'm doing a lot of self-work right now, I'm just also realizing how, maybe we're going about activism in a wrong way, you know, in whatever activism, in whatever, as long as the energy behind it is pumping the violence and the anger, we just increasing the vibration of that, you know. But I'm not saying let us stop. I just need to know what is the alternative, you know. It's like how if you want peace, if you're anti-war, then you need to actually vibrate a peace kind of thing. All right. Anyway, back to our story. So Thapelo was born on the 23rd of Feb in 1988. So they would be 35 this year. But when at the time of their passing, they were 24, had just turned 24 in that year. So a very young child. So I also believe that, yeah, before the age of 25, yeah, you haven't, but obviously it's person dependent as well. But I feel you're still like a child, Anyway, Thapelo participated, was also quite in activism, and yeah, was well known, well loved, well respected in their community, and they referred to them as QueenBling or ThaBling, Ta from Thapelo and Bling, because they liked the finer things in life. They liked looking good, smelling good, and just being prim and proper. And because they identified more with their femininity, because yeah, it is reported that they identified as a trans woman. So yeah, so this would be a person, or I'm sure makeup on fleek all the time, and but Thapelo is quite smart as well. Was a graduate from information technology. However, because of the statistics I'm mentioning of our country, they worked in a sales environment. So they were, yeah, maybe middle-ish management, but they worked in a sales environment to be able to put food on their table. And also, how it goes with us, where it's not just about us, but about the family as well. As long as kunali one that can take breath nyana out of poverty, we take care of each other in that way. So Thapelo, when this case took place for them, for the reason that we're talking about them today, Nata Mailele, a friend of theirs, they went to a tavern, a local tavern, and this is in the phase Ayadi Chisanyama, when Chisanyamas were becoming a thing. So local Chisanyama, they are there, having a good time, up until two men came and approached their friend, and apparently the conversation became an argument where they were arguing about their sexuality, and I find it so absurd all the time. Okay, I tell you what it is, I say I am, and then what do you want to do with that? What is it that you want to do with that? But from these two men, only one was apparently, also because I'm only seeing one report, apparently only one person was detained, and one person and said it was I who did this crime. So this argument ensues, got happening. Chisanyama is like a bright place or barbecue place for those that don't speak South African English. But yeah, it's drinks, it's chillers, but on the outside they're selling meat. They have fried meat or meat on the grill, barbecued meat, and yeah, it's just a vibe. So this is 2012 now, where it's the Chisanyama becoming a thing, where harchila for the Chisanyama, So Thapelo decides, I don't feel okay with this, and probably the energy had shifted, after, because it really does get annoying where now we're gonna be having conversations about my way of living or how I identify. It really does get annoying. At times it comes with pain, like how the word morphe is, at times like it makes me cringe a bit, even though at times you're on some, okay, we're just used to this, and it's unfair that people need to get used to derogatory terms. It's like saying hore. No, because kafir means a non-believer, we need to be okay with hearing the word kafir. Anyway, so QueenBling, they go to their home. So they had rented a place, rent there nearly 300 for this place. So it wasn't too fancy, it had like a hanging light up there, it had a door, and I did explain what this is in the villages, so the safety factor stands there, because in an unequal society, in a society that's dysfunctional, there's going to be a lot of things that are also dysfunctional in that, so there'd be like reports of other friends of Thapelo's would report how, every night it's literally on time, I hope I'm safe, I hope I'm safe, I hope I'm safe, because the doors don't close properly, or the doors don't close at all, or it's 20 or one open, which is unfair, for those who went to school in my days. I don't know what you guys do now. There's a Maslow's law, Maslow's hierarchy of needs, where safety is also a very important thing. Your housing is very important, your clothing, your food and whatnot, those are very important, besides the emotional stuff and the mental stuff and health in that way, you know. But yeah, but because, you know, you get comfortable in a place where you grew up, or the environment that you grew up, and, you know, as much as they swear at you and baba angabo nyonyobela at night, you know, so there is a lot of men who have this internalized homophobia within themselves, or a lot of, not even just the men, you know, there's a lot of queer people who have this internalized homophobia where they act out in a way of violence because somebody else decides for another, they're living out and proud, or not even proud, they're living out, you know, they're just doing them, or they just have this guilt of engaging with somebody who is not hiding themselves, you know. So yeah, which is a little feeling I have regarding the Sizwe character. So one of the two men, so the other man is not identified because Sizwe Tajini or Tajini, since it's an Afrikaans town, I'm not sure how the J is pronounced, but it's Sizwe Tajini, the one that confessed, I'm the perpetrator here. Anyway, so Thapelo goes home after this night, and Utamaliwan, and I also never advocate for that. How can we make sure that we home safe? So I'm probably like by the hen in my group of friends in the different cliques that I have, you know, where I want to know, are you home safe? You know, and it's very, I think Riboni only in 2020, is it 2020? No, not 2020. The year where it was hashtags, where how this safety statement is so underrated, you know, but actually it's something very important. And I like my mother henness in that, or okay, at least I can breathe, because I panic. Okay, besides my panic, but a lot can happen, you know. So anyway, Thapelo goes home, and yeah, so on this fateful night, after a regular Friday evening where, you know, it's the after drinks situation, the AMs of Saturday, they get to their home, and these two men follow her to her place, and they break into this place. They, yeah, do the most horrid of acts, where they probably, for me, I feel like when you see I'm not going to show the scene. When you see the scene, it looks like, have you seen the crime of passion, this one? Yeah, so it was quite bloody. They beheaded Thapelo to a point where their head was literally hanging by skin. They beheaded Thapelo. Yeah, I'll say he because, yeah, only he admitted to this crime or confessed to the crime. They removed Thapelo's genitalia and shoved their testicle in their mouth, and yeah, so they cut off the genitals, the genitals. So I don't know also psychologically what that means. I don't know psychologically or behavioral pattern. What does that mean? What message are you trying to put across, you know? And further looking into this community, but before we do that, let's get to how Thapelo was found. So this friend decided, so they had that urge, you know how I always say, let's listen to your logic self, listen from your solar plexus, listen to your gut. So they had the urge to check on Thapelo that night, and it's like, no, you know, and knew the next day she's going to work, you know, and friend decides what I know, check out the next day. So Bamutola he, I think, yeah, the next day, we find it's broken into. So Wabula, the friend, Habula sees the body, the body was covered with a blanket, you know, but it's quite ready. And yeah, when this friend opens this blanket, that's where now they met with this scene, the scary scene. Le Thapelo or unalived now, QueenBling is gone, you know. And yeah, so this is the friend orphanating also at their workplace, shaking also, because how do you even tell your friend's parents what this is what happened, you know? So I think Nasaduli in the same yard, but I think probably in the same village, because the perpetrator is also from the same village. He was living with just his father. Mother's not mentioned much, or maybe disassociation, but it sounds like the Sizwe character was raised by just the father. And in such cases, for me, this sounds like these guys, Baba Nyonyo Melang, people who live their lives out and proud, and then either they get so disgusted with themselves or whatever it is, and or maybe their partner wants to tell you sleeping with us here, you know, come nighttime you're sleeping with us, you know. Just as much as I remember in my hood, well, before it was my hood, when I was still living in Pretoria, when I'd come back to the hood, okay, actually no, we'll cover the story, but yeah, anyway. But things they mentioned lona motshegare la re roga, but at night la re nyonyobela. But this is a separate case, it's not a queer case. But anyway, yeah, also the manager, I think, decided to block out this part of their lives, because when they saw that, they thought Thapelo's wearing red pants, but this is now blood coming from Thapelo, you know. And the mother's not doing well, the grandmother's not doing well upon reception of this news, you know. And then we have Shane Grikwa, who is a member, or the lead, one of the leaders in Legbo. This is an organization, an NPO or an NGO in the Northern Cape that focuses on the queer community and activism in such spaces, you know. So this is one of the prominent ones. But I saw at the funeral, as well as the memorial, was a well-attended funeral, and a lot of people decided then, I am coming out of the closet. Because as much as you want to unalive people, but today, like right this minute, there's somebody born who's queer, you know. And yes, going back to that point I wanted to make a bit earlier on, where in the community, this is back then, you know, as much as there's social tolerance, but in the deep binekant, you know, it's not tolerable from the religious sectors, from the cultural people, from the midwives. So there was a study taken from the midwives where they mentioned if a child is born with maybe dual genitalia or multiple genitalia, they would actually wring the neck and then tell the parent, the mother, the birth mother, ngwanagos is stillborn, because they believe this is such a curse, this is so evil, like these things do not happen, you know. And obviously this is anonymous, you know, but it also now raises a lot of questions, you know, especially those working in the space system, how African childbirth in the African space, for the longest, before the binoculars and the microscope was put on that, there'd be a lot of death in terms of the mother and the child, you know. And you hear such stories, and then you wonder, you ask, and then in the same community, ask in the religious spaces how, no, we exist as a church because this is an abomination, this is immoral, your lifestyle is immoral, so we're here to save you. What's with the obsession of saving people who say they don't want to be saved? Like, stop saving us. Yeah, me personally, yeah, like, can I just go to hell in peace? Like, religion, chokeslam, I don't want that, you know. Like, let people be. And then you get to the cops who don't even know what a hate crime is, you know. So, yeah, man, our villages, they're very, very, So I don't know if it's a case of, do we need to educate? But for me, it's for what? For what? Why can't you leave my private life private, you know? Unless, I don't know, I'm displaying it and I'm displaying the stuff that I do in my bedroom, and I don't know. But no, nobody has that right over anybody else, you know. And yeah, so anyway, back to this case. And yeah, so this trial in Thapelo, it ran for months and months, and they postponiwa, but how they found this character. So Sizwe also took laptop ya Thapelo from the scene, and you know how devices can ping. So that's when it pingile ko habona. But had it not been this case, like, the nerve, you even stealing from this person, you hate their lifestyle, why do you want anything that belongs to them? So this was not a burglary, this was literally a hate crime. And so Habatola, that laptop there, that's when the confession comes there, where no, I did this. Also cut out their tongue. Yes, also cut out their tongue. So I'm also trying to wrap my head around what symbolism this is, you know, cut their tongue, cut their genitals. And then there's also another line mentioned how the elders in the community believe how, because you wanna be a woman, we will make you one. So I want to know, how does cutting off somebody's genitalia and analyzing them make them a woman? And it's a question of, okay, how does culture then view women, you know, besides I know, like in a lot of cultures, women are viewed as children, which is utterly disrespectful for the gods. I do truly believe that yeah. Anyway, let's not go there. But yeah, so anyway, eventually, apparently, I don't know how legit this is. Vamos sentence it. I'm not too sure on the length of the sentence, but vamos sentence it. And also, they wanted to remain. They did not apply for bail because of mob justice, fear of mob justice again, self-preservation from these people. If you're so brave enough to do such a hard act, you need to be able to face the consequences. If the community is angry, face those consequences. But yeah, it delayed case and obviously was not resolved in the very same year. But there's only one report, which is why I fear I doubt this thing resolved, probably all out caparol or not there. And I'm also checking on like official sites. That's how much the government and the judiciary system does not take us seriously, Yeah, maybe those cases sweep under the carpet. Yeah, but the funeral was well attended, the activism in this, and I don't know what they're doing now in the Northern Cape, but I saw like there's a lot of us. There's a whole lot of us, like team, extinguishing. And yeah, so got this funeral. So those who are in the closets decided, but now, they're gonna come out. Because also it's quite hard now. You are having hateful conversations with somebody, and because you're not out of the closet, you just at that moment you're agreeing, but when you get home you wanna like vomit in your mouth kind of situation. But this made a lot of people angry because also Thapelo in this there's a pageant where we name like Miss Gay and stuff. So I'm just imagining the kind of character that this person was, So very loved person, very. Yeah, I think people who are not happy with themselves, or people or people with internalized homophobia, had issues with this person, with Thapelo, But that is the case of Thapelo, who was born 23 February 1988 and fell on the 9th of June in 2012. And because I dabble in the African calendar a lot, I also had to remember another June 16, where now this is now approaching the season Elia said. For those who want more explanations on this African calendar, please go check out my other channel, Go Stoned Queer, where I speak on this. But this is now like June, man, like so much chaos happens, and yeah, this is today's case. And yeah, I hope we can empathize, sympathize, educate ourselves, and also elevate to know how somebody lives their life should not bother us so much unless we have internalized unhappiness. How can somebody being happy make you unhappy? Like I thrive from seeing other people happy, like when I'm going through the most, being around people who are happy, being around people who are joyful makes me feel better, increase the vibration, but that is the case, and we are lighting a light for Thapelo QueenBling or ThaBling or ThaBling. Makhutle, may your blood continue speaking. May you rise wherever you are, And yes, that is the case, Yarona Yakacheko. If this is stuff that you resonate with, please do like, please do subscribe, please do comment. Please do ask questions. Please do educate us if you have something educational to educate us about, especially when coming to gender and sexuality and stuff pertaining to that. I will see you next week on episode 11. This was episode 10. We'll see you on episode 11. And after that, we will be uploading the ones that we are migrating so that we can also get a bit of a downtime and also be able to do other things in our lives. So happy today. This was True Crime with Stoned Q. Also go by Organic Honey.